For starting my side of the argument, I would like to thank Yusuf sir for preparing and guiding us. Thank you so much. Education is the foundation of every successful society. But the question before us today is that which method of learning actually serves students better? Respected chief guests, honorable judges, distinguished teachers, the audience, and my worthy opponent. Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to all of you. I, Fajr Zahoor, representing Met Campus Sopor, today standing in favor of the motion. Now you will ask, why motion? Why not against the motion? It's because I think. Wait, let me give you a real life example instead. Look at the classrooms, the rows, the desks, and look at the one speaker and multiple silent listeners. This is the reality of traditional classrooms. Traditional classrooms are not just outdated, they are literally dead. It forces 60 plus unique individuals to sit silently and stare at the chalkboard, memorizing the exact same pace. Is that education? It's not education, it is known as automation. Education should not only help students to memorize information, anybody can do that. But the fact, it should make them understand, it should teach them how to apply it in real life. And that is exactly what Flipper Learning aims to achieve. It helps students to learn basic concepts at home, and we can use classroom time for discussions and problem solving. And there are like several reasons why Flipper Learning is effective than traditional learning. Firstly, better understanding. It helps students to learn basic concepts at home, and we can use classroom time for discussions and for problem solving. Every student will come up with their thought, with their point of view, with their statement, and they will discuss it. And I think that creates a deeper understanding. Secondly, learn at your own pace. Learn at your own speed. Freedom. You can pause, you can rewind, you can even replay the lecture. And guess what? There is an option for recording the lecture. You can just record the lecture and play it during your leisure time, during your examination time. Thirdly, it saves valuable classroom time. When students learn basic concepts at home, teacher can focus on clearing doubts, providing individual support to each and every student rather than delivering lectures for hours and hours. Then the students come to school, not to listen, but to create, to debate, to solve real world problems. Before I conclude my side of the argument, I would like to address some common criticisms of Flipperline. Some critics claim that screens lack human connection. What human connection? Standing in front of a class lecturing for hours, is that a human connection? You may call it human connection, but in my language, it's known as monologue. Second, it is the most common critic, and that is Flipper learning wholly solely depends on internet. But the fact is, Flipper learning simply means that students should learn basic concepts at home. And it doesn't say whether they should learn it from internet or some offline learning materials. And at the end of the day, this is an access issue. That's not flaw in the learning model itself. We cannot blame the Flipper learning for it because we can even learn through offline materials. Thirdly, this is the critic that says Flipper learning increases student screen time. But I would like to ask you one simple question, and that is, are not students already spending hours and hours on their mobile phone for just entertainment? Are they not wasting their time on doom scrolling, on gaming purpose, and on other platforms? Are they not wasting it already? What if we use the same hour for educating them? What if we use the same hour for 30 minutes or 20 minutes for educating them? And why is spending 20 or 30 minutes learning something new considered as a problem? Why not when they waste their time on gaming? Why not when they waste their time on doom scrolling? Why not then? Why not now when they are learning something new? Thirdly, the critic claims that the one who is supporting the Flipper learning, I mean Flipper learning model, this model removes teachers from education. Are we banning the classroom? No. Am I just throwing out the teachers that, oh my god, we will learn it by ourselves, we will use that technology? Obviously not. Surely teachers remain heart and part of the education. They are still there to guide, they are still there to support, to motivate students. The difference is just we are debating whether we should use classroom time for discussions or we should use it for one-way lectures. That's it. And it's not only me who is supporting the idea of Flipper learning. There are several countries who have adopted the method of Flipper learning. There are countries like Australia, there are United States, there is Turkey, there is Spain, there is New Zealand, and much more. And guess what? Even prestigious universities such as University and Harvard and Oxford have promoted and used the idea of Flipper learning in some of their courses, some of their classrooms. And why are they even promoting it? Isn't that the question? Why are they even using it when traditional classrooms exist? It's because they have understood the fact that we cannot build a future of tomorrow by using broken tools of yesterday. The world outside demands techno-savvy creators. They demand thinkers, they demand collaborators, problem solvers, critical thinkers, technologists, scientists, and much more. They don't demand a robot who can memorize information. Therefore, I strongly believe that my side of the argument provides better path for students and for education. Thank
Replace a
you.
teacher? Can a screen replace a classroom? Can technology replace human connection? Well, respected chairperson, honorable judges, teachers, worthy opponent, and my dear fellow listeners, Assalamu alaikum and a very cheerful morning to one and all present here. Well, this is me, Fatima Javed, a grade 8 learner, proudly representing Met Campus Sopor. Today, I stand firmly against the motion that traditional classrooms are obsolete and should fully be replaced by flipper learning. Before I begin, let me share a few lines. A classroom is more than walls and boards. A classroom is more than walls and boards. It's where young minds are inspired and soared. A teacher's guidance and a friend's support. A teacher's guidance and a friend's support are lessons no video can ever report. Esteemed audience, the word obsolete means something that has lost its value. But traditional classrooms have not lost their value. They continue to provide millions of successful students around the whole world. Second, my opponent has insisted that flipper learning is more flexible, it's more convenient, and it's more modern. And am I denying the fact? I agree that technology is useful, but useful doesn't mean that it should fully replace classrooms. My first point is traditional classrooms provide something that flipper learning cannot. That is real-time interaction. When a student get confused, they ask their teachers immediately. When they lose their confidence, the teachers encourage them immediately. Second, let me ask a very simple question. Can everyone afford a good internet connection, a personal device, a quiet study spot to study at home, and proper guidance from their parents? No. The answer is clear, no. Not every student can have access to reliable internet connection, a good hotspot, a good personal device, and a quiet study spot to study at home peacefully. For an example, this is a hand and it contains 5 fingers. Now you all will see that this hand, it contains 5 fingers and all the 5 fingers are not same. Similarly, in this world, there are millions and trillions of people who are not same. Some have a personal device and some do not have. Third, if a doctor warned the child to reduce their screen time, would we really respond by making screens the center of their education? Well, flipper learning requires students to spend more time on screens. More screen time means more eye strain, poor posture, and sleeping problems. Well, this is not just my opinion. As per evidence, a 2023 study over 1,500 students found that 50% experienced eye fatigue from screen use. Flipper learning risks all these health problems. Education should create healthy habits, healthy students, not unhealthy habits. We all remember what happened during the pandemic. Students were missing their friends, their teachers, their classmates. Well, now let me rebut my opponent's points. My opponent stated that students can discuss ideas instead of listening to lectures for hours and hours. Well, discussion is useful. I mean, I'm not denying the fact, but students must understand the topic first, and a teacher's explanation in a classroom can build that understanding. Second, my opponent stated that students can learn at their own speed. Well, not every student can learn independently. Some needs proper guidance, emotional support from their teachers. Thirdly, my opponent stated that internet is not a weakness of flipper learning. Actually, thank you for proving my point. Whether it's technology or it's any other human resource, flipper learning is that of concept which shifts education, which should shift study to home. Whether all the students are not same, where all the students have not the equal opportunities. In conclusion, I want to say that traditional classrooms are not dead, they are not obsolete, and they have their value. Before flipper learning was even a concept, they were providing us I'm actually talking about traditional classrooms. They were providing us with IPS officers. They were providing us with doctors and engineers. They build schools cannot be replaced because they provide us with social exposure, peer competition, proper school teacher guidance, and morality that home study cannot match. Finally, flipper learning is not just about internet. Flipper learning still focuses a crushing financial burden onto poor families. Education should belong into the classroom where all the students stand equal. Therefore, I strongly oppose the motion that traditional classrooms are obsolete and should be fully replaced with flipper learning. Thank you for listening calmly and patiently.